Finding Dory? Welcome to the family. The sequel to the 2003 smash hit and critical darling, winner of the Best Animated Feature Oscar, Finding Nemo. Now, when they announced this sequel, you know, it was, for me, it was met with a little bit of hesitation as well, with a little bit of excitement. Hesitation because we had a couple of Pixar sequels, and if your name is not Toy Story 2 or Toy Story 3 and you're a sequel in a Pixar franchise, you're gonna do just fine, right? So you guys get my point. So when I saw this movie coming out, then, you know, a lot of the advertising didn't really just it didn't grab me at all. I mean, if I can go on about this forever in a separate video, but the advertising is just so lazy. Like the poster which is so dumb. I mean, look at this poster. It's just the tail and it's the tagline, she just kept swimming. Like, I mean, it's an iconic line from an iconic movie, but it doesn't sell me the movie at all. And I know Dory's an iconic character, and I know that she's gonna sell the movie all on her own, but this is a Pixar sequel, and you haven't done well with Pixar sequels in the last few years. So you gotta show me a little bit more, Pixar. You just gotta. But it's still a Pixar movie, and it's still Finding Nemo. I gotta go watch it. And man, does this thing deliver. Pixar is on the up and up with this one because this movie is fantastic. To start with this, I didn't think that Dory can carry a movie by herself. I honestly really didn't. I thought we were gonna get a little bit of a Mater from Cars 2 type of thing, where we get a character who's pretty adorable in the first movie, but then when you try to surround a whole story around them, it just doesn't work. But this one works, and it does it in spades. Dory is actually a very cool character to actually learn about her backstory. And you know, I first thought that you couldn't really tell a story based off of her character, but then I thought back to that original scene in the original movie where she first meets Marlin, and she said that she thought she had a family, and she goes,
I forget things almost instantly. It runs in my family. Well, I mean, at least I think it does. Where are they?
That's this movie right here. That's that scene turned into a whole movie. And Ellen DeGeneres does a great job at playing Dory. She does a great job at fleshing out the character using her vocal work and her vocal talents, and she really imparts a lot of depth into this character. Now, along the way, we got a couple of new characters like Hank the Septopus. He's not an octopus because he lost an arm. Destiny the whale shark that joined along with the beluga whale played by Ty Burrell from Modern Family. I mean, these new characters are pretty good. Even Idris Elba is playing a seal. If that's not worth price of admission alone, I don't know what is. But if you thought that you were going to get into this sequel thinking that there was going to be a bunch of old faces and new faces, then you're going to be a little disappointed because there's not a lot of old faces. Nope, nobody from the Tank Group, no Will Dafoe, no, there's a little bit of Crush, but just a little bit. Don't get too hung up on that. But these new characters can definitely carry the movie themselves, and I was really happy that they were introduced into this world. Some of the return characters that we got obviously is Nemo and Marlin. They help Dory on this journey to find her parents. So the synopsis of this movie is Dory has this kind of traumatic or this mind-triggering experience that causes her to start remembering her family. So she realizes she's gotta go. What takes place is this journey of self-discovery. So it's not just finding Dory as in they have to physically find Dory, but it's more from a mental, spiritual sense. And you know what? I honestly really like it. I honestly really like the look into how Dory operates as a character. And I was really worried at first because I really thought that she was going to be like really annoying, just kind of like asking questions. Oh, where are we? What are we doing again? Oh my God, who's that? What's your name? Hi, I'm Dory. I can understand after a while that would get kind of annoying in a little bit, but every time they did it in this movie, it was very clever, and they didn't do it in a way where it kind of grinded on your nerves. The things that this movie has going for it is, it has a lot. First off, it's the Pixar standard of animation. The animation looks beautiful. The way the color palettes are, it's very reminiscent of that first movie, and I'm glad they didn't really change a lot from it and try to get too ambitious with it. Pixar is really good at that. Always innovating. Good job, Pixar. Now, the story is a little bit, some may complain that it's a little bit scatterbrained, like it's all over the place. But I really start thinking about this on the drive home from the theater, and the movie, the way it's placed thematically, it gets you into the mindset of how Dory is as a character. It jumps all over the place. It's scattered. Some things don't make sense until later on in the movie. Some things that she says just kind of come out of nowhere, but it definitely pays off. And this is how Dory is. She doesn't know how things are put together, but she works them out in her own little way. And in that's pretty much the moral of the story. You may be different, you may have some type of disability, but you can actually use that disability to overcome any hurdle that you may have. And I think that's just a beautiful way to tell this story. Now, do I think this is better than the first Finding Nemo? No, it's not. But these are like two different movies, and they're made in two different ways by the same director, mind you. Andrew Stanton is amazing. Keep doing a good job, dude. But these are two different movies told in two completely different ways. I mean, one of the complaints that I do have about the movie is that it is focusing on being that scatterbrain, that kind of like weird, like out there, all over the place type of movie, and it works for the story it's trying to tell. It's just that I think that Finding Nemo was more of a beautiful masterpiece in the sense that it took time to relish in the fact of this world that it's creating. As you're going through this journey in the ocean, then you're seeing like all these beautiful locales. You see the heart of Marlin and Dory's relationship grow. You see Nemo trying to find out who he is, and there's just a whole bunch working in that movie to make it what it is. Dory, since it's so scattered and it's really brisk, it's very fast paced, the plot moves like that. So when things are happening, they don't really take time to relish where they are, and I was kind of missing that. One of my favorite things about Finding Nemo is the music, and the music complements that whole journey well, whereas the music in this one was kind of forgettable for me, and it really, I guess they weren't really focused on that bit of the story. But when it has your typical Pixar charm, its wit, its humor, and the emotion, man, there's some lines that Dory says where I think is also going to be very iconic, and it speaks very loudly to who she is and how some people outside of this movie will operate. I just gotta say, if you are a parent and you have a child with some type of mental disability, like maybe ADHD or Asperger's or what have you, then this movie will definitely speak to you on numerous levels. This movie spoke to me, and I don't really know anybody with that in my life personally, but it spoke to me very clearly as to if I came across somebody like this, I can know how to handle that type of thing. Just kind of seeing Dory kind of like circumnavigate this journey by herself in some situations, it's very heartbreaking, and Dory actually turns out to be a very tragic character. Dory is like one of the most tragic characters in Pixar's lore, and I will have to put her up there with Mr. Fredricksen of Up for this one. But then that also goes into Ellen DeGeneres' great performance. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think that Finding Dory is another Pixar classic. I really do believe that although it's not as good as Finding Nemo, it still stands on its own as a great Pixar movie in and of itself. So I would say out of 10, I would give this movie a solid 9.5 to Finding Nemo's 10. Alright guys, if you've seen Finding Nemo, please let me know. Please tell me what you think about it. Tell me your favorite parts. If you want me to review another movie, just let me know. I will get to watching that right now after I read those comments. And just remember, I'm on social media. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at straw_hat_goofy. And please, down below, tell me your favorite Pixar movies. I want you to rank them from maybe your top 3. All right, guys, remember, I'm Juju from Juju Reviews. I love you, and I'm